Okay, Uma.
Graduate School of Integrative Medicine in Austin, Texas. As a believer in community involvement, Dr. Clark has served not only Uma's student government, but she's also been the past board member for the National Professional Association. She is the current president of SMART, the Sarasota Manatee Acupuncture Research Team, the local chapter of the state association FSOMA. She's also the co-founder of the National Healthcare Forum, a visionary alliance of multiple holistic disciplines dedicated to educating our community about natural healthcare options and alternatives to pharmaceuticals.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Hi, I'm Dr. Cynthia Clark. I'm an acupuncture physician and applied clinical nutritionist. I'm the creator of Energy Evolution with Longevity Wellness. I say that every week. May I tell you a little bit more about why I am these things? May I share my story with you? Yes. Yay, thank you, thank you, thank you. So like many people, I grew up in a house that I had really, really, really loving parents. I was raised by my dad, who's an awesome dad, and I love him with all of my heart, and he did a fantastic job of raising me, and a little bit of weird stuff. So things like, things are a little weird in my house. Things like one night I was washing my tennis shoes, you know those Keds white tennis shoes, remember those, right? So I was washing my tennis shoes, I was bleaching them, and things are a little weird in my dad's head. He woke up in the middle of the night, well, okay, it was 10 o'clock, and he smelled me washing my tennis shoes, and he immediately thought that I was trying to kill him with chlorine gas. Yeah, so there's a little bit of some stuff a little bit strange in my dad's head, and I was grounded for like 2 weeks for this, right? So other ways that the world looked a little weird to my dad was one time he walked into a Kinko's to get a manuscript copied, you know, a copyrighted manuscript. You got me? Copyrighted manuscript copied. So he walks up to the lady at the Kinko's desk and he says, "Can you please copy this?" And she said, "I'm sorry, sir, it's copyrighted. I can't do that." And he lost his chickens. He said, "You were part of the conspiracy. These other people called you, and I know you're all in on it." And it all went crazy, and I'm standing there, and I'm like, "I apologize. It's been a little bit of a rough day for my dad." You know, he's like, and I follow him out. So things are a little bit strange in my house. And there was one day that my dad was on the phone with someone that he was close to, and I was also close to. And he was having an argument, and this argument was really upsetting me. In fact, it was upsetting my stomach so much that I was like doubled over. And he finally looked over and he realized that his little girl was not doing well, and he gets off the phone and he looks at me and he says, "What's wrong?" And I said, I can't take the stress of it. And that was a moment that he realized that his craziness was affecting somebody that he loved. By the way, there's a happy ending to the story with Dad, but I'll get to that in just a moment. That moment was the time that I realized how much stress, energy, emotions can affect the physical body, right? It wasn't even my argument. I was just present around it, and it was affecting my body in a way that actually for the next several years, I would have some digestive disorders. So now you know why I specialize in digestive disorders, because I got a lot of experience with it. Okay, over time, as I went through Chinese medicine school and I learned my dad more and more, because I love him very much and I don't want him to struggle with this, over time, I got to help my dad, and my dad got to do some things that made his life better. And I'm delighted to say that there's a very, very happy ending to this story. He has, after life getting a little weird and a little crazy, he is now married to the woman of his dreams, living in this incredibly beautiful home that I love, love, love to go visit. There's very little craziness, and there's lots of delicious food. So I get to see miracles on a regular basis, and it's part of why I believe so much in what I do, is because I can see the changes that happen in such a profound way, and that's why I care so much about what I do, and it's why I work with bellies and digestive systems, and it was also the foundation for my understanding of how the digestive system is the basis for the creation of hormones, which have to do with how good we feel, and those are the basis for our brain neurotransmitters, which have to do with how clearly we think. You follow? So like this being messed up means this being messed up means this being messed up. Okay. So thank you for hearing my story. I want to tell you about a couple of my favorite client experiences. Yay, happy endings. And so one of them is a lady that we're going to call Casey, not our Casey from our group. Names have been changed. And Casey is a 55-year-old high-paid executive who travels all the time, all the time, all the time. She flies, she drives, and she has IBS of the constipation and diarrhea sort. And let me tell you, that's real uncomfortable if you were traveling all of the time because you were constantly looking for the bathroom and uncomfortable in pain, right? So whenever she travels, she has to plan in advance for where she's going to go, where the bathrooms are. She has to have all this scouted out. And she also has to really plan out her time to have enough relaxation that she can have a bowel movement. So she started coming to see me a couple years ago, Casey did, and when she first started coming to see me, this was all a wreck. She was really having a very difficult time. She also had these chronic urinary tract infections, which were messing her up. She was constantly taking antibiotics for them, and they were making her gut even more messed up because it was throwing things off. So after working with me for about a year, she's feeling great, and everything's like working very smoothly the way it's supposed to work. And she feels so good that, you know, life gets busy, and I don't see her for a while. About a year and a half later, she calls me up and she says, "I have to come see you." And I said, "Okay, you're welcome. What's going on?" And she says, I'm eating all the weird stuff. We had tested her for food sensitivities, so investigated what was aggravating her gut. And she had been eating very cleanly, and we also helped to strengthen her digestive system and to desensitize her to some of her food sensitivities. So she had gotten to a place where she was falling off the wagon. She was eating the stuff that she knew messed up her gut. She was getting back into the swing of having the constipation and the diarrhea and having a really bad time. So she came back to see us, understanding that when she is living a life that has such high pressure, such high stress, you know, thinking back to my dad, that high stress, she knows that her body works best when she's under care to help keep it regulated. Doesn't mean that I need to see her 3 times a week. It means I need to see her often enough to keep things running smoothly. Okay, another one of my favorite clients to get to tell you about is a 34-year-old male who has a wonderful, beautiful family, 2 beautiful children and wife, and he had IBS and allergies for over 20 years. And his IBS was the type that was the urgent diarrhea. So they could only go to places that they already knew where the bathrooms were, because in the first 2 hours of being there, he was going to be in that bathroom at least 6 times. And that was really putting a crimp in his lifestyle, but he'd had it this whole time, right? He couldn't go for any sort of long run. He couldn't ride his bike for any length of time. And he actually had a job where he worked from home so that he could easily go to the bathroom without any embarrassment. This gentleman, just after a couple of treatments, because he was mostly a healthy person, he just had these difficulties, after just a couple of treatments, symptoms completely resolved. So we strengthened his digestive system, we identified his food sensitivities, his IBS cleared up completely, he has none of those problems anymore, and also so did the allergies, because it turns out in Chinese medicine your large intestine and your sinuses are connected, your lungs are connected. So side benefit of working with a medicine that focuses on strengthening and healing your body. So that you know, every pharmaceutical is designed to stop a process in your body. There's times when that's important and you want it. Trauma, right? If my arm gets lopped off, I'm going to go to the hospital because that's where I need to be. However, medications, pharmaceuticals that are taken long term, they stop a process in your body long term, and that keeps your body from being fully alive. That keeps all of your systems and your bodily functions and processes from working the way that they're supposed to. So, thank you very much for hearing my stories, and thank you very much for being such a wonderful group that I love coming to every Wednesday morning. What I am looking for and how to be a good referral to me, because it's a little weird to, well, I'll just be honest, to refer to a Chinese medicine doctor. So I wrote out a script for you, and it's on that piece of paper in front of you. It tells you exactly what to say, and it's basically, I have a great Chinese medicine doctor. She's looking for, in this case, I'm going to have you focus on professionals with IBS. And she'd like to work more with these people, and here's her contact information, so put me in touch with them. Also, I am looking for MDs who specialize in gastrointestinal disorders and MDs who are open to partnership relationship with Chinese medicine doctors, because we can help each other a lot. We can help make each other look better as professionals, as doctors. On the flip side, I want to let you know some of the things that we do in my clinic, which are, on the top you'll see our packages. These are all the things that we offer. In addition to the nutrition, and the acupuncture that you know that I do, I've created my own computer program to do the analysis of your blood work so that I can see early markers of the landscape of your health. I also do frequency therapy. This is a computer program that I use to enhance the medical Qigong energy work that I do. And I have an online Qigong course and an online nutrition course. In addition to that, my very famous purification system that you've all heard so much about. This is the opportunity for your body to do a full reset. And January is the perfect time to do this. So we're launching a purification system on January 18th. People who have been through this have experienced lower blood sugar, lower cholesterol, better sleep, clearer skin, feeling more awesome overall, increased energy, better thinking. So for anybody who signs up for the first 20 people who sign up for the January 18th date, you get to save $40. So this is a really, really big incentive because I don't make a whole lot of money on this. I just really want people to feel awesome, and I know how awesome you can feel doing this because I do this twice a year. And then finally, I have a list here of the energy evolution classes that I teach. This is all the coursework that I do to teach people how to be in control of their energy and how to learn how to manage energy in their body. Thank you so much for letting me share my story with you and for helping me find people that I can help even more, even more, even more. Dr. Cynthia Clark with Longevity Wellness. Thank you, thank you, thank you.